In old Kyoto, there was once a gate known as Rashomon. This gate was once a jewel of the old capital, but in time the gate was neglected and it fell into disrepair. It became the haunt of thieves and murderers, and perhaps this is what drew a demon to dwell there. Sometime in the early 11th century, the local people were terrorized by a demon who at night would grab the unwary. Those that it grabbed were never heard from again, and it was believed that they were devoured by this demon. Now at the same time, there were samurai who lived in Kyoto who were the retainers of a brave warrior known as Minamoto no Yorimitsu, also known as Raiko. Raiko and his followers were famous for fighting supernatural terrors. In fact, a little while before, they had defeated a demon and his band in the hills of Oyama. One night, his retainers were gathered together drinking, and the subject of the demon of Rashomon came up. One of the samurai, Watanabe, he didn't believe the story. He felt because their lord had defeated the demon leader at Oyama, that no demon would have the audacity to come this close to where he and his retainers lived. His fellow samurai challenged Watanabe to go to Rashomon Gate and challenge this demon and fight him if he could. Watanabe could not refuse such a request. His honor and bravery were at stake. So he agreed to ride out to Rashomon Gate and challenge the demon, and if the demon was not there, at least leave a card of some sort. So Watanabe put on his armor and rode his horse out to the gate of Rashomon. Watanabe finally reached Rashomon, and it was in the middle of the night. He called out, declaring his lineage, and challenged the demon to fight. There was no answer. So Watanabe felt convinced that he was right, that the demon of Rashomon was only a product of people's imagination. He left his card at the gate and turned around to leave. All of a sudden, he felt a heavy hand grab him from behind. It was grabbing at his neck and pulling him from his horse. His horse bolted. Watanabe had been captured by the demon of Rashomon. However, Watanabe was not a scared or weak city dweller. He was a brave samurai, and as quick as thought he pulled his sword from his scabbard and cut upward. He heard a loud cry of pain. He turned around and saw the horrible demon, but it did not fight. It ran quickly away and disappeared in the night. Watanabe chased after it, but could not catch it. He returned to the gate, disappointed. But there in the shadows, he came across a great prize. For there lay the demon's arm that he had cut off with his own sword. Now he had proof of his venture. So he returned with his trophy. And for a while, he would show the demon's arm off to anyone who wanted to see it. And word of his fame spread throughout the land. However, a seer, a prophet in the neighborhood, told him that the demon would try and regain his arm, and that Watanabe should be careful of this. So Watanabe hid the arm away and locked it in a trunk protected by holy relics, and would not show it to anyone. Now some time had passed, and although no one saw the demon's arm anymore, the legend of Watanabe continued to spread. And late one night, an old woman came to his door, begging entrance. At first his servants were going to send her away, until she announced that she was Watanabe's aunt, and his nurse, the very one who had raised him when he was a child. Now Watanabe could not refuse her entrance, and so he allowed her in, and entertained her long into the night. Finally, the aunt asked Watanabe, could she see the demon's arm? She had come a long way to see it. Watanabe could not say no to his old aunt and his nurse, so he had the trunk brought out and the holy relics removed, and he opened the trunk and showed his aunt his trophy. His aunt was amazed at what she saw. She couldn't believe it. She said, "Watanabe, truly, truly, you are a great warrior. There can be no doubt of what you did that night. But there's one thing you must know, my dear Watanabe." "What is that?" asked Watanabe.
"It's mine!"
Suddenly, his aunt was no longer there, but it was the demon that he had faced at Rashomon. Before he could react, the demon snatched his arm back and rushed from the hall. Watanabe pulled his sword and chased after him, but the demon was too fast. He wanted to kill that demon now more than anything, but this time the demon would not fight. He rushed outside and took to the air and flew away. Watanabe could only watch in sorrow and anger as the demon disappeared once more into the night. He had lost his trophy. However, though, the demon, having regained his arm, never did return to Rashomon and was never heard of again. And for that, the people of Japan still remember Watanabe's brave deeds and still tell them to this day.